Welcome to Milestone Moments, the show where we explore the journeys that lead to success. I'm Sheila Slick, your host and founder of 5 Milestones. In every episode, we will bring you insights from the minds of entrepreneurs, leaders, and experts who will share not just their expertise, but the milestone moments that have reshaped their journeys and led to significant achievements. So if you're looking for motivation, you're in the right place. Subscribe now and discover the milestones that mark the path to success. Welcome to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. I'm Sheila Slick, your host, and today my special guest is Amanda Reed, owner of Reed Mobile Marketing. Amanda started her marketing agency as a single mom of 5 very young kids over 16 years ago. Her focus has always been to help small businesses beat big brands. She is also author of the book, Unapologetically Me, to help other moms balance starting and growing a business while being a mom. She also founded a free online membership, the Mob Community, that stands for Mom-Owned Businesses, where she teaches other moms how to market their businesses online. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and can't wait to chat with you about all things marketing, moms, business, leadership.
So we can begin. You had 5 young kids, but that was many years ago. So let's start by going back to what that life was like. I know that even marketing has evolved, technology has evolved, but motherhood hasn't, right? It's still a balancing act when you're a working mother or, your own entrepreneur and you have kids. So what was that like?
I often tell the story of where I felt like the biggest failure. And it's when I first had started my business. My kids were very young, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm in Safeway, and it's that like crazy time between when kids are getting out of school and we're kind of wrapping up the day and you have to go make dinner and you forgot a few things and you're just kind of in the chaos of trying to get the day done. And my son says to me, "Mom, we need ketchup." So me and my 5 kids go over to the condiment aisle, grab the ketchup, and my other son says, "We need ranch dressing too." And in that moment, I just started crying because as so many days, I had been adding up every single cent that was going into the cart. And I knew that I simply could not afford both the ketchup and the ranch dressing. And I felt like the biggest failure. And I felt like I wasn't just failing me, but I was failing my kids. I was a single mom. I was all that they had. And when we take a look at that and take a look at that life, it's that struggle of all the responsibility. How do I make it work? And how do I push forward? And while there were many other nights, many more than I would like to admit, that I still questioned the decision, it is the choice to keep moving forward that actually propelled me to break through those obstacles and get where I was. Even though it felt like failure, you had to go through the failure to get to the success.
Were you able to work from home though? So you had that down packed, holding that fort down?
I've worked from home. I had other businesses before I started this business. So I've been fortunate that I've worked from home for about the last 21 years in some capacity. So I've worked from home. And as I said a lot, I worked from a lot of coffee shops. There was one point where I decided to get an office space and did that for a while. I didn't really think it helped my business all that much. And so went back to working from home. So there's a lot of benefit in being able to juggle that, being able to have a space where I can work and still be able to provide care for my kids.
So with this community, what are some of the current challenges that some of the women face?
I think the biggest thing is when you want to start a business, we have that desire, we have the passion, but we don't really know exactly what it takes. And I think the biggest challenge that we face right now in like as we record this in 2025 is this idea that owning a business or entrepreneurship or a side hustle should be easy. And so basically, it's been sold as this like amazing thing. You just work an hour and all of a sudden you're a millionaire. And that just isn't reality. And so I think a lot of people are coming in and not understanding the process and the work that it's going to take to build a business. Is it worth it in the end? Absolutely. But basically, people thought that, oh, I just bought a program or I just have to post on social media once and all of a sudden I'm going to have all these sales rolling in. And it doesn't work that way. So what we're seeing in that community is a lot of frustration of people feeling like maybe they were sold a lie, that maybe that they didn't understand what it was going to be. And so we're trying to help them understand, okay, now what are the basics that we need to actually get started and actually start growing your business?
Everything that you just said really resonated with me. I was on a different podcast yesterday as a guest, and that was one of my key takeaways was it doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of the current generation is selling my how to. And this is how I do it. You can do it too. And within 30 days, we're going to get you to seven figures now and just follow this system and wait, there's more. And I can't believe that that's what you're mentioning is the number one thing. I would have thought, time management, how do I do these responsibilities? But it's really a frustration of really understanding that having a business takes many years to get to the level perhaps where you want to be.
Absolutely. And I think on the other side of that is there definitely you have to figure out time management and sometimes we have to figure out tech and there's all sorts of different things that we have to figure out in it. But the biggest frustration is just the false expectations. And so sometimes you have to break through that first. And then it's like, okay, now what are the strategies we can put in place to actually do this? And I love what you said there because I think the number one thing that we can do to help be more successful is extend the timeline of our horizons of expectations. So if we look at it might take us 10 years, that's okay. But when we start thinking it's supposed to happen in 30 days or a month or a year even, right? Most businesses, it takes a lot longer than a year to build to get to where you want. So just extending that expectation of how much time it's going to take actually relieves some of the pressure.
I also serve women that perhaps are finishing being professors or they're executives and they're not ready to retire, but they have a lot of expertise. They have a lot of connections. And I think that when you do have that base, it may be a shorter time frame, but they're also not looking to build these huge companies, right? They're looking to earn extra income while they can still enjoy their post executive life. And it's a lot more about purpose than it is about trying to build something huge.
And I think part of that, which is always super interesting, is I say one thing is you have to decide what you want, right? Society tells us we should have this, or whatever. So building a business could mean I want an extra $500,000 a month, right? Like that's cool for me. Building a business could mean I want to make millions of dollars a year. That's cool too. Like you get to decide what you want. And but also one of the fun things about marketing and advertising, so whether you want like you said, these basically end of their career, end of that stage of their career, but not quite ready to be full retired stage, or I'm just starting out and want to build a huge business, the key is still marketing and advertising. If you already have a network of people that want what you have to offer, that's fantastic. But reaching out to them and saying, hey, I'm available is still marketing and advertising, right? So we have to let people know we exist. We have to let people know our products and services exist. And I think that's one reason why I'm so passionate about marketing and advertising is because if nobody ever knows you exist, nobody can buy from you. So it doesn't matter how big you want to go. It's a solid foundation. And if we can just focus on the inputs, like what are we doing to make that happen, then the outputs will happen at the time that they're supposed to.
Well, I'd love to hear a lot more about what you do and some tips of what's working best for your clients.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. We kind of have a couple different ways that we work with our clients. Obviously, we have a marketing agency where we are a full-scale digital marketing agency. So people just pay us to handle their marketing. And that's where, as you said, we work with small brands, helping them beat big businesses. The reality is bigger businesses have people like myself, other marketing agencies that they're paying hundreds of thousands, if not seven figures a year, just to do their marketing. And what we understand is small brands can't afford that. So we take all that expertise and help them be able to grow while still having the same tools, expertise, and knowledge. So they'll just pay us to handle their marketing. We love working with small brands at that capacity. We also have our memberships where we teach. We just teach you what you need to do to go market your business. And then on parts of that, we can offer software and additional coaching and services to make sure that you can fill those gaps. Those are kind of the done with you services we say. You're still going to do all the execution, but we want to make sure that you're on the right track. And as far as what's really working, I think the biggest thing is always understanding in this world of social media, in this world of online, where most people maybe miss a step is understanding that they don't own their own audience. So our goal when we're putting stuff out there should always be to be building our own list, whether that be an email list, a text message marketing list, something like that, that puts you in charge of being able to communicate with your potential clients at any given time. So many times people are just posting on social media or just doing something there and they're never owning their client list or their contact list. And that actually puts all of the control onto the social media platform. So if it changes or something happens to your account, you actually don't have a way to contact anybody anymore.
I've seen that happen to so many people, and they don't have a plan B. They haven't prepared, or it gets hacked, and now all of their people are just seeing things that someone else is posting. So, what about AI? How is AI affecting marketing and the messaging? Because some people may be thinking, I don't need a marketing agency. I have an AI, right? Or there's a software that'll auto post for me. I know that when it comes to editing the podcast, for example, I can upload an audio to AI, and when I replay it, it just doesn't sound like it flows. So I can't hand it over to the AI. I'd rather have someone do it manually because it's just not the same. And I think that when we talk about messaging, a lot of times people are missing the mark, but that's my opinion. I want to hear from you how it's affecting not just the industry, but the messaging.
Yeah, so I think AI is fascinating. We utilize AI a ton and we continue to find different ways that we can adopt AI. And I think we're going to see in the next couple of years a lot of different amazing use cases for AI. That being said, it also doesn't replace the human element. So we have to, I say it's a starting place, not the ending. It's great for brainstorming. It's great for helping us come up with ideas. It's even great with helping with some messaging. But we have to have a baseline first, whether it be, hey, here's a list of 50 different things my customers have said to me. Now it's going to get the ball rolling and help us come up with different ways to say that or incorporate that in our messaging. But I always say that AI is kind of a starting place. It's a great place to say, hey, give me 10 ideas on this, or what would be the basics of this? And then you have to go in and humanize it and actually make sure that it reads the way it should. And I think that people that don't do that, it becomes very obvious that it was all written by AI because it all sounds the same. So I think it's a great tool. And we need to continue to find ways because that's how we maximize our time. That's how we maximize how we can be most effective. And there's some different automations that allow us to be totally hands off. But when it comes to messaging and understanding conversation and humans, I just don't think AI is quite there yet. And so we need to make sure that we're always reviewing our copy. And I've seen some great AI tools, and they literally say at the bottom of them, make sure you read it because it can lie. Okay, right? So we need to make sure that we're not just posting whatever AI says. We're not just taking it for whatever it is. We need to make sure that we're editing it and making it ours.
Somehow you lose credibility, even though we are perhaps using it as tools. I've seen at the bottom where it'll say, this will make it sound more. So it even makes you think more now, or I'm distracted reading the response because I'm trying to figure out, well, what did this person ask the chat GPT to write? Because it'll say it at the bottom. So I love that tip, right?
Yeah.
Filter, just like think before you post, read before you post if you are using artificial intelligence. So in your website, you emphasize that finding the right partner is essential for business growth. If someone is out there looking for a marketing agency, what's the difference between A and B, or what guidelines or tips can you offer people that perhaps want to look at agencies to work with?
I think it's important to understand proof matters above all, right? So, what results have they been able to get? And be able to understand where you want to go. Oftentimes, what we see happen is sometimes people will not really have a whole lot of experience in something, but they have more experience than you. And so they're able to use more complex terms because they know those terms and it makes them sound like they know what they're talking about. So what I would say is one good test for an agency is, can they explain it to a level where you understand what they will be doing for you and what the expectations are of those results. And I say that that's always huge. I'll take it from maybe the other side as well, is like, who should you listen to when it comes to training or coaching or mentorship? Maybe you don't want to pay for a marketing agency, but you want to learn how to do this. We all start somewhere, and oftentimes we start out doing it all ourselves, right? That's okay. So you need to make sure that you're looking at, in my opinion, has this person actually executed the job? One of the things I say when I say from marketing training perspective or the coaching that we do is, we actually run a marketing agency. We can tell you it's working in the space because we're doing it every single day. I see a lot of bad information in the marketing space because people haven't actually done the marketing. They've maybe understood the theories or read a book or watched a training, but they haven't gone and either executed it for themselves or for another business. So making sure that that person, whoever you're going to hire, whether it be for them to actually handle your marketing or just to learn from them how to do your marketing on your own, make sure that they actually have the experience to get the results that you want.
So is it better to focus on one or two platforms, or to try and be in all the platforms?
My advice on this has actually changed a little bit recently. And it's because of some of the stuff we see happening. So the first thing I would say is understanding that you should master one platform. And that platform, let me be very clear on this, that platform should be the platform where your ideal customer hangs out. Not the platform you like the most, not the platform you feel the most comfortable with. It's wherever the platform is that your ideal customer is spending the most time. So that's how you decide what platform to use, right? Where are your customers going to be hanging out? But you do need to master one platform and you need to be consistent with it. And mastering it means understanding all the nuances of it. How do I actually post to, whether it be, do I duet things? Are I doing reels? Can I go live? What are all the different components of that platform? Because the reality is, you don't want to be trying to figure out the tips and tricks. You don't want to try to somehow scam the algorithm. Trust me, the algorithm catches up. the algorithms are already changing. So you need to understand what the platform is for and why you're getting the results you can. And always remember, all platforms, all they care about is keeping people on the platform. So in reality, you just have to create good content. So master one. And I used to always say, just stick to one. That being said, I'm telling people that they should probably repurpose their content onto other platforms, but don't try to really learn that platform. Just understand it won't perform as well. Because normally when we're repurposing content, we want to make sure it's platform specific. I understand that most entrepreneurs are starting out, don't have time for that. So just repurpose it, just post it again on another platform, because we're seeing too many variables in the space where accounts do get hacked, or an account gets shut down, or things like that. And I would rather you start building an audience somewhere else as well than not have that and have to start all over. So you just have to understand that place that you're repurposing to is just probably not going to do as well, and just be okay with that. But it allows you to start building an audience there.
So I'm going to repeat, because it was so important what you said. Start with the audience where your ideal client hangs out, not your favorite, not where you feel most comfortable, but where the people that you're looking for are going to be. That's
right. That puts us, we have to remember, we're not in that space when we're posting, we're not a consumer, we're a creator. We're creating for a platform. And those people that will be looking at it and consuming it, they have to be the right people. They have to be our ideal people. And let's be honest, the platforms are amazing at finding the right people, assuming you're posting the right kind of content. But if you know a little bit about your customers, that's what helps you understand what platform you should be posting to. If you're 100% going for sales executives, you should probably be on LinkedIn, right? That's where they hang out. If you're looking for 18-year-olds, maybe Snapchat is the best platform for you. So you just have to understand the different platforms and really be focusing only on where your audience is.
And with your groups, the mob, tell us a little bit about who can join.
So the mob is an absolutely free group over on the school platform. If you know anything about that platform, it's an amazing platform. And it's a community built for moms and those that support moms who own businesses. Now, you do not have to be a mom to join the group, but we do want to say that you have to be supportive of moms in business. And the whole point is just to get you the support you need to start, build, and grow a business online. We know how challenging it is, and it's basically the resource that I wish I had when I started my group. So it's a community as well as live teaching and then recorded trainings as well.
Perfect. I will leave the link in the description for anyone that's interested in joining the community in school. Before we wrap this up, what is your next milestone?
My next milestone. I love that question. Right now, I am on a mission to help 1 million moms make money online. So that's my next milestone, is how do I help 1 million moms make money online?
Well, that's very short, sweet, concise. So I think you'll hit the mark. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. Well, thank you for joining me today, Amanda. And
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in to another episode of Milestone Moments in Business and Leadership. Until next time.